It is Monday, October 29, 2018. Thank you all for tuning into the Steam Mobile Tech YouTube channel. If you're watching this on early release through Patreon or through delayed release on YouTube, regardless, thank you all for tuning in. I normally don't do these types of videos, but I do think this is a big enough deal that it does deserve its own video here on the channel. So today we actually had the OnePlus 6T released, and the launch event took place today in New York City. The launch event that took place in New York City was pretty well planned. I think they knew exactly what they wanted to do with this release. For those of you that have been following OnePlus as a company for a while, you know it's a company that has picked up a lot of steam over the last several generations of the making of this Kickstarter phone. It's picked up a lot of steam in the Android space. A lot of people are starting to know about this phone and this phone maker, I should say. And they're really starting to get some traction as an OEM in the smartphone space. Now, like I said, I don't normally cover these types of things on the channel, but I think this is a pretty big announcement, and I'm going to explain why. Let me first get into some of the specs and some of the important components of today's launch event and some of the things they talked about and how they pertain to our channel. So in terms of design of this device, you guys can see it there in the screenshot. The phone is pretty attractive. It's got a nice build. It looks pretty good. It's got a very minimal notch there. We're going to get to that in a second. In terms of the actual build, it looks like it's going to have a pretty standard build as it pertains to like the rest of the market. It's got that small teardrop notch at the top, which is a lot different than a lot of different phone makers now, which the notch is very exaggerated, trying to accommodate front-facing speakers or, you know, one or two cameras on the front, different sensors and whatnot. So it's nice that they kind of created this minimal design for that notch. It does have a pretty big display. I think it's a 6.4-inch AMOLED or OLED display. I think it's at 1080p, so nothing Quad HD or anything like that. It is running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 SoC, so pretty powerful processor. It has a 3700 milliamp hour battery, so that should give you all day and then some for sure. This is a pretty powerful phone. It does have an in-display fingerprint scanner, which is pretty nice. Not the first phone to have it, but I guess it's supposed to be very reliable, very secure, and very dependable. So your options in terms of the storage, 128 gigs with 6 gigs of RAM comes in at $549. The 128 gigs storage and 8 gigs of RAM comes in at $579. And 256 gigs of storage with 8 gigs of RAM comes in at $629. Those prices are pretty good. So, you know, in terms of specs, it's all there for a 2018 flagship. The reason why I say this kind of is involved in what we cover in the channel, this is a T-Mobile exclusive smartphone that they're going to be selling. So T-Mobile is going to carry it in their store and online. It is going to be the 128 gig version that has the 8 gigs of RAM, which, you know, OnePlus is selling it for $579. I don't really have the release on T-Mobile for pricing, but it should be somewhere around there. So that's the one they'll have. The nice thing about what T-Mobile is going to be offering is you could trade in your device, whatever you have. You could finance this phone through them to make it a little bit more affordable by payments. So they'll give you $300 on a trade-in if your phone qualifies. I believe they're taking in all old OnePlus devices if you have those, and there's some other ones that qualify for $300 off on trade-in. Now, that'll put you on a 2-year agreement. It'll put you on installments. You'll be getting store credits that way, but it does offer you something. Now, the big thing here, why I think it implicates our channel, besides through T-Mobile, it also implicates Verizon. This phone is Verizon certified. Verizon has released a statement on it as OnePlus. So it is going to be compatible with all US carriers as far as I know. I haven't gotten confirmation about Sprint, but I know it is compatible with AT&T, T-Mobile, and now Verizon. And in terms of Verizon, it is going to have mostly full LTE compatibility. I don't know if it's going to be CDMA compatible. I wasn't able to find that. I doubt it'll be CDMA compatible, but with so little of the CDMA being utilized on Verizon, I would assume that it really just needs the LTE. Now, in terms of the smartphone experience with what you get with a OnePlus device, you get very good specs, you get excellent camera performance, probably just like a notch below Galaxies and iPhones, a little bit below like the Pixel devices, but it's still pretty good. Excellent operating system, very smooth operating system in terms of stock Android. So they just add a few features that are very helpful and very nice. So it is nice there. There is one drawback that I think of. It's the no headphone jack, so they got rid of that. It was in last generation. It does have USB-C. You'll have to use the adapter that comes in the box for the USB audio, but it's nice that they did include it. In terms of charging, you're not getting wireless charging here, which kind of sucks. A lot of the phones are having that now. You do get the dash charger in the box, which, from what I understand, is one of the fastest, if not the fastest charging method in the world. So in terms of smartphone charging, this is the one. Also, I believe the technology they use, the dash charging, takes the heat to the adapter and not the phone, which is kind of nice. That should make the battery last a lot longer in terms of longevity, which is good. In terms of availability, it is available at T-Mobile starting November 1st, so you'll be able to walk into the store, hopefully, and purchase this if you want one. Now, who is this phone for and why I bring it up to the channel? This phone is for people that want stock Android, that want a Pixel-like experience, but don't want to pay $799 for the smaller Pixel 3 or $899 or more for the Pixel 3 XL. You're basically getting a Pixel-like experience, but without the ugly notch and without the ugly price tag. So if you are an Android user and you like the operating system very stock, this will get you there. If you want to do it at 60 or 70% of the price of those flagships, it'll get you there. Honestly, I think this is a game changer for OnePlus. I think this added carrier support for Verizon, along with it being in carrier stores with T-Mobile, this is really going to change the game for them. This is going to give them some prominence within the US in terms of selling their devices. And I think with them being supported by Verizon, being compatible, I think in the future we might actually see Verizon carrying this phone very soon, maybe even the next generation of this phone. So we'll have to wait and see, but this is pretty substantial, and I think this is a big deal. Now, in terms of LTE compatibility, from what I could find, it is going to be fully supported for LTE on the T-Mobile network. All the carrier aggregation, all the 4x4 MIMO, all those advanced LTE features are there. I'm not sure if it supports band 71 and band 66. I'm assuming it does because it is a branded T-Mobile device, at least the one that T-Mobile's selling in their stores. So don't buy it from OnePlus if you want to get band 66, band 71, buy it from T-Mobile, just in case. I'll get confirmation, I'll do a little bit more research, and I'll let you guys know in an update. But if you want to get those bands, for sure you'll be getting it through the T-Mobile branded device. But if that's not really a big deal, then go ahead and buy it through OnePlus, and maybe that's better for you that way, so it's not carrier locked or anything like that. In terms of LTE for Verizon, it does support band 2, 4, and 13, so that gets you covered. I don't know, I'm hearing that it doesn't support all Verizon bands. I'm not sure what else it needs. Maybe there's that, that half band 5. I call it a half band because I've only seen it on my phone a couple of times. But it gets you the major bands, especially band 13. That's the critical one. They've always had 2 and 4. Now they have Verizon's main band, which is 13. So now there's probably no CDMA. I have seen screenshots of speed tests, and a person posted their speed test from the Pixel 3 XL, and they were getting like 78 megabits per second. And then they switched their SIM over to the OnePlus 6T, and they were only getting like 17 megabits per second on Verizon. So to me, that means that the OnePlus 6T is supported, does get LTE fully, but it's not getting the carrier aggregation, it's not getting the MIMO technology, it's not going to be as fast as it is, say, for example, on T-Mobile with all of those compatible bands and carrier aggregation and advanced LTE. So if you are a speed snob and those things are important to you, I would probably stay away from activating this device on Verizon. But if your LTE demands are just, nothing too crazy and you're fine with 15 or 20 megabits per second, or even 30 or 40, I'm sure you'll hit that at times. You're just not going to get the 100, 150 megabits per second on Verizon with this device. So kind of like you take the good and the bad there. But it is a great device. It'll be a great experience. It does get you a really nice phone at a really nice price point. So I definitely would say go ahead and consider this for T-Mobile if you have T-Mobile. If it's Verizon, go ahead, check it out. But if you are a speed snob, maybe back away from it. So that's pretty much it for this edition of the video for the channel. I really like OnePlus 6. I really like the OnePlus 6T. I like the device. I think it's going to really do something for OnePlus in the grand scheme of things. This is going to give them some notoriety within the US. It's going to get them a name within the US. They just really don't have a lot of buzz here. They're a really popular smartphone maker when it comes to Asia and China, but they just don't have the footing here, and this is going to really help them. Getting Verizon certified and then getting a T-Mobile association as a carrier, them supporting the devices as well as carrying them in stores and getting them in people's hands people can check them out, and they'll be paying $200, $300, maybe $400 less than a Galaxy device or a Pixel device. So, let me know what you guys think, your thoughts and opinions on this. Let me know if you're interested in it. I know I am. I'm seriously considering this device. If I'm going to be upgrading from my Google Pixel 2 XL, if I feel like it's getting outdated, a little long in the tooth, I'll probably consider this phone. This is a pretty nice deal, especially for the price you're paying. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the value, on your perceptions of the device, and what you guys think about it if you might consider it in the future for your next purchase. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. Much appreciated. If you could please give this video a like and a share. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do that, and ding the bell to be notified whenever I upload new videos. That's it for this one. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.